Mm. Okay, good to go. So, all right, 17 minutes gone past five. And yes, this is time for us to discuss business on Business Hub. And today I will be taking you down technology route. And today, I will not be talking about technology myself today. As much as I want to be a Texas, I've got someone who will be talking and taking us through how Texas works and all the nitty gritty that you need to have at the back of your mind. So today on Business Hub, we'll definitely be taking a look at unlocking the potentials of African entrepreneurs. And doing that with me is none other than Sherry Pepple. She is the founder and president of Naija Tech Brain. Good, good evening is appropriate. Uh, how many hours?
It's
Still,
just
still,
it's just one
it's
hour,
just
so
1 hour.
it's
So yeah,
okay. So it's
it's not like
afternoon
it's
is
that.
still okay. No,
you, you know how some people say, well, it's the same. Yeah, but it's just an hour difference. But hey, welcome
absolutely.
aboard. Good to have you in as
Thank
well.
you.
And yes, you can be a part of Business Hub today. You get to also share your take on questions with regards to how you want to start off your business and what you need all the tech questions you might have. Sherry will definitely be helping us navigate our way to starting off our businesses, knowing what we need to do and how to
Yeah,
plug in all the technologies.
that's it.
So, yeah, it's interesting that you actually run an organization that is called Naija Tech
Take
Brain.
brain.
So, is technology the key to actually unlocking the potential now within Nigerian businesses?
That's like an absolute yes to your question. Uh, let me kick off by saying just sharing a little sneak peek into the what the name Ninja Tech Brain. I,
Okay.
I think it's just a reflection of who we are as Nigerians.
Great.
We've got brains. We can
Most
think.
definitely.
We are creative, and then when you make someone feel that way, it brings a whole lot of it causes a whole lot of difference, and that's why we came up with
Mm,
that name, Ninja Tech Brain. And thinking about the way to go in our world today, let me give you some. I love sharing story. A
great,
few years
great.
ago, so a few years ago, I was working with a CEO of one of the biggest investment um, 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 investment companies here in the UK, as well as
Okay.
they're also into insurance. And then you know what? Everybody,
Mm,
the CEO guy, not that the CEO, he would kind of bring us into his meeting room. I'm telling you, with the directors, and he would
I'm
he would put us in on the spot and get us thinking. He will get us coming up with ideas. He
mm,
will and then it got to a point, I think, whether we were delivering to his expectation or not, but he
mm-hmm,
happens to be a black guy, okay? Whether we were or not, everybody
mm-hmm.
was tensed. So it got to a point where we saw in our calendar a one-to-one meeting, and I was going to
Yeah.
have my session. So okay, and I walked into this guy's room, and we kicked off, and he
Okay.
went through my background. He said, "You got a degree in mass computer science, and you got a master's in business information systems." And then he was
Yeah.
telling me, "So why are you because I'm centered around with all these tech things. I'm centered around project management, in the tech
Okay.
space." He said, "Why are you not coding?" And I'm like, seriously, do we all have to code? Like, but and
Yeah, that's a
he said to
huge
me, look,
question.
yeah, no. He said, you know what? He said, give it another 10 years. There'll be no job for people like you. It was a food for thought, girl. It was a food for thought. And it's so true. Now, when you come into the banks, when you come into the banks here in the UK, let's say we go into
Yeah.
Barclays and whatever, look, the
Mm,
customer service that you normally would get on a day-to-day basis, they're no longer there. they are currently being replaced. Not currently, they are actually have been replaced with, the machine. So it's a self-service, you help yourself.
Okay.
So right
Mm-hmm.
now, it has gone into the shops. Okay. So when you go to shop, normally you have customer service at the till who will help you out,
Yes.
girl. There are some shops right now where you don't nobody, you just one
Self-service.
one customer service is self-service. So when can we break into this market? This is the time. The reason
Mm.
being that AI is out there. A lot of things are
Ah,
changing.
yes.
And Nigeria, this is a time for us in Africa. And Nigeria, we have a very
Vibrant.
strong, vibrant, young we look at our demographics, we got
Mm.
young, young youths. So when do we maximize this space, this opportunity we have? The time is now, and our
True.
youths can think. But the question is, do have we set them up in the right environment? With the right
Mm.
resources. For them to believe in their abilities and for them to
Mhm.
be able to use that creative mind that God has given us. One of the biggest tools that God has given us is our mind. With our
True, true.
brain, we can think and create
Think and create.
things. So that is
Mm.
the reason for Naija Tech Brain. Our whole essence is to bring that educational aspect of equipping young entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
underrepresented, promising entrepreneurs, equipping
Mhm.
them with the knowledge that is required to set up,
Mm.
to think creatively, to think innovatively, and set up businesses. Now, looking away, of course, I'm not going to keep saying this. We are strongly a consumption nation. Now, how do we move away from being a consumption nation into a
A
production nation?
producer.
Until
Mhm.
we start to do this, we haven't started. So
Create the
this is the
avenues.
yeah, absolutely. So it's important, and I'm so glad that it has already started. There are a lot of
Great.
hubs, a lot of organizations that are doing the same thing. I'm so excited
Mhm.
to partner
Be
and
a
work with
part of
them.
it.
Absolutely.
Mm.
you know Let me just stay your mind a little bit.
Okay.
Have you ever visited AliExpress, the website, or Alibaba, like they call it? you know
Okay.
you know
Yeah.
you all you end up seeing are just little you see different products, and you say, wow,
Being.
this is good. so,
Mhm.
so what are they doing? They are creating products, the normal thing you see in the market, but someone
Mhm.
is thinking a little bit, how can I create an edge over what is currently there, where there is a gap, they fill the gap, and the things that you would normally do with your strength or your human labor, they are replacing it with
With.
innovative products. And
True.
then that leads me to the point where I love attending exhibitions and tech shows. And one of them
Yeah.
I attended at the O2. That, I think that was a few years ago, and that turned, that was all I took away
That,
from that
that
exhibition,
was your
and it changed.
turning point.
That was my turning point. It changed things. I walked into the room, and the
Great.
lady said, "You know what? Look, there is nothing new anyone is creating. Everything you ever think of creating is already there.
It's
All we
been
are doing
there.
is enhancing. We are enhancing. We're just making them better. We're just bridging the gap. Where there is a gap, we create something better. So think
Nice.
about it. It's just about saying, instead of us complaining, how can
Mhm.
we turn our complaints into solutions? And that is
Solutions.
that is who I am. So when you think about solution, think about Sherry. So if you come to me with a problem, I'll say to you,
Nice.
how do we get out of the problem? So, and that's innovative mind, and that is the kind of environment, the kind of society I want us to create in
Mm.
Nigeria.
Great. I love that passion. I love the energy that you put into what you do. Now, I know you did mention earlier that you studied math and computer
Math.
science in
Oh yeah.
school. It's
Don't
not
even.
a thing that most ladies want to even like calculation. Uh, the only thing I enjoyed when it came to calculations was stats. I don't know why statistics was a thing for me, but when it comes to regular math, it was like, no, please don't bring it to me. I can't even
Yeah.
deal. So now, can you recall how many girls were actually in your class studying the same course as you did?
Oh my God. You know what? It's been a long time ago, but I'm just going to give you, say, it was a 40-60. If you go for that by that ratio. So it's a, say, we had about, yeah. 40-60.
40,
So
60.
yeah, 40-60. Let's go with that.
So,
So we had
yeah.
more guys in the class than ladies.
Mm.
So yeah, but of course you don't. Yeah, it is what it is, but it can be
So
changed.
yeah, thinking about change is where I'm coming to. How do you now encourage the girls to actually take this more seriously, take the math and computer science more seriously? What do we need to do to put them to make it more interesting for
Yeah,
them, just as we would with fashion, with
yeah.
makeup and the likes? How do we break it down for them to be more enjoyable?
I think it's going from the known to the unknown. I'll put it that way. Okay.
Okay.
So look at what they like to do and then relate it towards how it can be turned around through technology. Because what let's say maths or computer science is all about, developing, an application or developing
Mm-hmm.
a product. So come on, let me give you this. So like I said, I like being pragmatic. I like examples. It just
Pragmatic.
sends a message. Yeah. So one of our in our we just had our maiden edition of the Naija Tech Brain tech competition and our gala night
Okay.
just over a week ago. And
Yeah.
one of the ladies in our cohort,
Mm-hmm.
she's a shoe designer. Okay, so but
Nice.
now, and you think about it, so what's a shoe designer looking for in a tech competition? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is where we bridge the gap. So whatever you are doing, it doesn't matter. But let me tell you, there's an atom of technology inside of it. There's an atom of innovation inside of it. So while she was going through the program,
Yeah.
this young lady created. I don't think you've heard of that before, or you've used that before. But this young lady created an application, an app that would enable, no matter where you are in the world, you can use the app to it's a fitting app, so you can size your feet and
Mm.
send a request to them, and then they can produce, or yeah, produce your shoe based on your exact shoe size. So some of us have wide foot,
Feet.
so with that kind of
Yes.
thing, you can bridge that gap. So she created an app that solves that problem. So
Oh
now think
wow.
about it. So and that's why I said earlier, let's
Yeah.
go from the known to the
To
unknown.
the
That's how you
unknown.
solve the problem. So look at what they
Mm.
like to do, look at what they love to do, and show them the other end how they can innovate, think innovatively through
Mm.
this. And then you will see people, yeah, ladies, taking advantage of that.
Actually, I'm looking forward to that. Just tapping into all that knowledge and becoming a Texas myself.
Please do, please, because yeah, you know what? Please do. Now,
Mm.
let me add this to this. So a lot of people are
Okay.
scared of this AI thing. Yeah,
Sure.
a lot of people they're scared because, oh, am I gonna lose my job? And this is the reason why we're doing this. So if you don't take advantage of developing yourself now,
Mm-hmm.
um, whether it's in the legal system, whether it's in HR,
Whatever
wherever.
profession
There
you
is
are
no
in.
area that is safe with there's no area that is safe with
Mm.
technology right now. Whether you're a nurse, I'm telling you, there are robots that have been created, designed to
Just for
deliver
that.
healthcare services. So what you need to do is just to upgrade, upskill, and
Mm.
position yourself for no, I wouldn't say the worst, for the best.
For the best.
Yeah.
All right, Lagos. Yes, to tune into Business Hub. And yes, today we'll actually be taking a look at unlocking the potential of African businesses, African entrepreneurs, and you can be a part of it this evening. Do feel free to share your messages, your questions, even your contributions. Would definitely love to have them. And yes, talking with me this evening is none other than Sherry Pepple. And she is giving us some major information. I just can't wait to, tap into that knowledge, especially the one we just had just now a few minutes ago, talking about how I could measure my leg without having to go with the broomstick. That's
Absolutely.
innovation. Um, well, we'll also be keep taking a further look at how the government as well can also be part of this. But in the meantime, let's just take this quick breather. On the other side, we'll continue this conversation. Lagos, don't go nowhere. Okay, keep listening. Just welcome. Rotus.
We are your dynamic, non-interest bank that truly cares about your financial progress.
Yeah, very interesting thoughts there. I'm actually excited that she could think about that and just do that within the shortest
So
time.
true. So true.
Hmm,
So true. It's the power of thinking. It's the power of creativity.
I like
So
that. I really do
and
like
that's
that.
yeah.
Hmm. It takes a forward-thinking mind to
Yeah.
think through
Problems.
and not just be in a corner and say, "Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know how to. What am I supposed to do?" But she
Yeah.
decided, you know what, I'm not going to sit in
Yeah.
the corner and just let
Yeah.
anybody push me away. I'm just
That's
going to
true.
go through. I
Yeah.
like that. I like
I th-
that. Innovative
yeah.
thinking. All right, we'll go up in a few more seconds and then
No, that's
continue
all
the
right.
conversation from there.
That's cool.
Visit www.lotusbank.com. Lotus Bank. Partner. Progress. Prosper. Oh, see from around the world. On Smooth 98.1 on your radio. Ready to stay tuned.
All right, welcome back, Lagos. And yes, you're tuning into Business Hub. And today on Business Hub, we are definitely taking a look at how we're unlocking the potentials of African entrepreneurs. And we're taking a look at it from the angle of the tech. And yeah, sharing more nuggets with me this evening is none other than Sherry Pepple. She is the founder and president of Naija Tech Brain. And definitely been unlocking a lot of things that I didn't know were possible. But now let's before we even go into the government sector, let's even start with the private sector because a lot of people always when we talk about businesses, next thing we're always thinking about is, oh, okay, let's go straight to the government. Um, is the private sector organization like yours meant to carry this bulk load, or is there any way to boost entrepreneurs looking at this going forward?
I think I would say it's everyone's responsibility, to create
Okay.
that ecosystem. Okay, it's everyone's, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's the government, whether it's a private sector. If we kind of calling into the private sector aspects, private sector um,
Mm-hmm.
they play a very key role in increasing
Sure.
our economic growth.
Mm-hmm.
They generate employment and
Mm-hmm.
also improved also living conditions. Okay, so
Yeah.
they also enable the governments in developing countries like Nigeria to
Mm-hmm.
generate tax revenue,
Great
and in
stuff.
doing that they are contributing to funding wider development strategies like this. You can see companies or even we can see banks kicking off startup programs,
Mm-hmm.
enabling this. So it's the I would say the private sectors are enablers, to create a platform
Mm-hmm.
that enable these young entrepreneurs to have a foot into the ecosystem. So yeah,
Okay.
and their contribution is enormous.
So, well, we know that about the private sector. So, what can the African government actually do to aid unlocking all the potentials that we have in Africa, not just Nigeria, but I want to like go further than just Nigeria in Africa as a whole, because we have
Mhm,
a lot of potentials.
we do.
What can the government, the African government, actually do to support them and unlock these potentials?
Wow, that's a very big question. Let's take a look at what happens in the Western world, and then we can now
Okay.
come into into African nations. So in the
Okay.
Western world, I'll give you post-COVID, there have been a lot of funding, for
Mm,
innovations. So and before I touch, let me do a few touch points on why it should be done.
okay.
A week ago, I read in the papers in Nigeria, I think in one state in Nigeria, a young man committed suicide. Suicide is a very rare thing in Nigeria, and the reason for the suicide was because of business loan that he borrowed. Maybe being
Mm,
unable to pay back the business loan, and of course the frustration and the constant demand, and whatever may have caused him, may triggered that action. So you don't
mm,
want to encourage young people. So we had in even in the in the program we had over the weekend, we had one of our keynote speakers who's a finance expert. He was there. He encouraged young people. These are the different ways you can get loan or support, but I encourage you not to start with going for business loans, because
Okay.
as a starter, because of the
Yeah.
dangers that comes with that. So what am I trying to say is, here in the UK we have different bodies that encourage not only the entrepreneurs, they also encourage organizations like us, to carry out such programs. So what would
Okay.
we expect from our governments, in Africa? I think it's to for there to be a disruption in the ecosystem. There needs to be funding made available. There needs to be think about create, which is happening, to be honest, in Lagos. I happen to interface with the Lagos Innovate, and they are doing a fantastic job.
Oh, awesome. That's very
Think,
great to hear.
because you will think about them having vouchers, hub vouchers for young entrepreneurs, where they can actually have like a meeting areas or offices, as a starter. So it's
Okay.
important to create that. So my recommendation is, we need to invest more into research. Research is one, and then also create different hubs in all the states, of the federation. Let's say I'm using Nigeria as an example. Every
Okay.
state, there should be something that, or different hubs that people can walk into and have the opportunity to mingle, to collaborate, to network, and also receive information and meet new people, meet investors that would, believe in what they do. It may not even
Yeah.
having, it may not necessarily be you meeting an investor. It could just you
Okay.
having the opportunity to meet with others, like-minded people like
Like
you.
minds.
Absolutely. And that is a strength now. So, and I'll give you an example with what we're doing in Naija Tech Brain with our first cohort. What we have
Okay.
developed is goes beyond. We took them on board, our top 10 finalists, and we took them on board,
Okay.
and we then went through a 10-week accelerator program,
Oh,
where we
great.
took them, where we educated them in business. Because there's one thing to create a business, and it's one
It's
thing to
another
make it
thing to.
sustainable. Yeah, knowledge is power. So some people cry about having capital upfront. Capital is not the answer. Capital is key, but it's not the answer, because without the right knowledge, you may have the capital and then
All
you
the
flop.
capital we need.
Absolutely. So creating that kind of hub for our entrepreneurs, even after the event, we are still working with them. We're not leaving them, hand holding them. So through the journey until they able to stand on their own, that is, what we need to do in Africa. Helping.
I actually want to interject at this point. You make it sound so easy, like, oh, okay, we don't need the money. Is money not really the issue behind why
No.
most businesses aren't thriving, while we're always looking for help one way or the other?
You know
Yeah.
what? Yeah, you know what? I would say money is part of it. Okay, but
Okay.
I tell you the truth. Money is part of it, but
True.
money may not be the number one, the primary issue. And I say
Okay.
this to you: you may
Okay.
give somebody 1 million without the right knowledge. Okay, without
The
the
million will
right
go to
knowledge,
waste.
the million will go to waste. So I have the approach that we employ here in the UK. We do the fail fast approach. So when you come to our cohorts, and we anyway, we're putting together a master class that will very soon, that will talk to people about this, young entrepreneurs more about this. So when you come, you might have a holistic picture of, I want to create this. Okay, but we would help you break it down. Because when you
Okay.
go with that big picture, you might crumble. We break it down into divisible, what we call the MVPs, your minimum viable product. Go check out the market.
Okay.
Check if the market loves you enough. Check if what you have is viable enough, is what the market is looking for. By the time you do that back and forth iterative movement, then you can ascertain and
If it
also
actually works for you.
increase the confidence if it is going to work. Because some people, I can give you 10 million, like I said, 10 million, and you invest
Yeah.
everything to build something that is not required
Yeah.
by your customers. So so that's why I keep saying knowledge is power. And that's why one of the things that we're going to be taking seriously, and we have kicked off already, is the knowledge aspect. Once we're able to equip you with the knowledge, then we begin to assist you and line you up with potential investors. And another sweet thing, we're beginning to have, interest, people who are interested in, working collaboratively with us,
Yeah.
as investors. But we don't want to present our cohorts, or we don't want to present anyone working under our umbrella who is not
Okay.
knowledge, for having the
Who's
full
not
knowledge,
knowledgeable?
equipped, who's not
Mm.
equipped basically for that. So we go take you through the process, and then
Okay.
we can
I
say,
have this
yeah,
I have this contribution from David from Festac, and he says, "Hello, Joyce. Hello to you too, David." It says the older, richer Nigerians refuse to invest in the younger generation. The younger businesses are struggling, and we are not creating wealth as a race. That's why businesses require big investments and lots of research and trial and error. So, your take on that, Sherry?
that's true there.
When
That is
you say
actually,
that, when you say that's true, my question to you now will be, how is India making it? How is it that they're getting it right? What did the nation actually do to boost, well, get through all that
okay.
citizenry that they have?
You want to
Yeah.
hear the truth? Do you want to hear the truth? Okay.
Oh, definitely the
We
truth.
we, we gotta break the cultural barrier. Okay, that
Mm,
is the key thing. So within, of course, come on, we have the Indians. We work with the Indians in here. The
yeah.
Indians have created a society where they carry everyone along. And hear what David said. I feel you. Where the
Mm,
older businesses are not
generation.
really supporting, the younger ones, the younger generations, and to be honest, that was what we kicked off last weekend when we brought investors, we brought CEOs and different people into the room, and we said to them, fine, investment is one aspect, but fund, sponsor these young ones, enable them, give them, encourage them. So we want
Okay.
Nigerians to have the mindset of giving back. By the time you give back, there are social benefits of doing that. Okay,
Mm,
empowering our young people, there are social benefits, and one social benefit I always like to call that out. Look at how we say, maybe if I'm not going off trivial, but let me just say this. I gotta
go ahead.
look at how we say crime rates. Okay, we measure crime rates. No, do you
Mm-hmm.
know that by the time you empower these young entrepreneurs with ideas, there will not you will
The crime
have
rate
lesser.
will get
You
true.
it's just a
It just
trend.
drops.
It will drop. So,
Mm,
but the more we do that, the more we create such ecosystem, the more we
mm,
see that Nigeria will be a place that people want to come in. Nigeria will be a place where investors want to, come in into and invest. So,
mm.
and the building is not one-sided; it's everyone being involved in that building,
Okay.
making it happen.
So, you know how they say time flies when you're having fun and having an interesting conversation?
Tell
I
me
see the
about
look on your face.
that. Tell me about it.
Oh my days. All right. So I definitely want your take on this before we wrap this conversation up. So basically, is it that we're not getting it right with regards to the basic items or needs when it comes to the internet facilities that we have here, or is it that we're not building in the right infrastructure to have these businesses running? So shed your light for me on this aspect, especially seeing that you are into the tech world and you're trying to build brains that will grow Nigeria as a
Yeah.
brand.
Okay. I think the thing is we have been so dependent on, say, the problem and not
Yeah,
looking at the solution. So we've been so,
solutions.
yeah, dependent on the government did this, the government didn't do this, the government didn't that. So we gotta be able to step out from just being dependent on the government and start
Okay.
from where we can. Every little counts. Yeah, you're right. We haven't got the infrastructure,
Mhm.
enough, but then there's a starting point.
Okay.
Let's, start from where we are, from where you are right now, do what you can do, and as we begin
Yeah.
to grow, we'll see that move. There will be a movement. Okay, and then also the government will also begin to see the need. And let me share one thing before we go. So the government has just in September did launch a program, is the National Talent Export Program. The government
Okay.
launched. It's called NATEP. And there's another program where the government is training about 3 million Nigerians. And so I wouldn't say the government is
Great.
doing badly. Yeah, in technology. So the
Mm,
government is beginning to put structures, in
in
place. They're
place.
beginning to see the value. They are now
Mm,
doing modeling what is happening in the Philippines, in India, and Mexico, and other countries. So I think we are I would say we are in a step in the right direction, So but it's just we're going to be patient. But everyone, for me, my shout out is everyone's going to be involved, no matter the little you can contribute. And that's why Naija Tech Brain, no matter how small or how big we are, let's make the contribution, and it will go a long way.
All right. Thank you so much. We could just keep going on and on and on. But how do people get out to reach to you? How do people reach out to you if they have more questions and they need more guidance, especially, hey, those who want to be tech sis as well?
All right. So basically, we have our handles, Naija Tech Brain. You can reach us on Naija Tech Brain on Instagram, or email us at naijatechbrain@gmail.com. And I'll say, watch out for our masterclass. We're having a masterclass we're launching soon on innovation, creating innovations. So let's say you don't have any, you can't even think, but we'll teach you how to think, come up with an idea, and we'll help you create a business out of nothing. So
awesome. Awesome. I like how you say create something out of nothing. That's what we do. That's a positive way to go. All right. Thank you so much for being a part of Business Hub today. I trust you have a very pleasant day ahead of you. Yeah, well, the evening will be not too cold.
I know. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
All right. Cheers.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, Lagos, been an interesting session today on Business Hub, and I trust that you've also enjoyed it as well. We've had a pleasure of speaking with Sherry Pepple, who is the founder and president of Naija Tech Brain. Well, Business Hub comes your way every Tuesday. Looking forward to another session such as this next Tuesday, where we get to figure out what next businesses or what next business will be on the block. But hey, definitely got a lot more where this came from. More music for you as well. So don't go nowhere, ladies.
On Smooth 98.1.